Welcome to lecture number 29 of the series Unreal 5.1 for Archviz, and in this lecture we'll add some lighting in our interiors. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I'll select all of these exterior meshes and let's move them to a different folder. Yes, okay. Let me increase the camera speed and let's go into our living room. Let's hide these windows and I'll select my sun sky because I want to adjust the direction of the light to bring some natural light into our living room. Yes, yeah, okay. Now you'll notice something that when I unhide my windows, the sunlight is no longer coming into my living room. And the solution for that problem is path tracing. Okay, if I change my rendering mode to path tracing, now you can see that we have that natural light coming to my living room. So it's a good practice to render your scene in path tracing because it gives you very photorealistic results. It will increase your render times, but it will give you very photorealistic results. Okay, so let's jump back to lit mode and let's add some artificial lights into the scene. Okay, I'll go into this add option and I'll select lights and let's drag in spotlight. Let's move this up and I'll move this one into a different folder. I'll rename this as living room lights. Okay, yes. Let's go into the top view. I'll select this perspective option and I'll select top in this menu. You can also press Alt J as a shortcut. Okay, I'll go into the top view and let's adjust the position of this light. Okay, let me move this and I'll place it right here. Yeah, okay, yes. Now I'll change the snapping size to maybe 100. Okay, and make sure your snapping is enabled. And now I'll press and hold Alt on my keyboard. I'll create a copy and move this on x-axis by 2 points. Okay, similarly I'll create another copy on x-axis and I'll move it by 2 points. Similarly I'll hold Alt on my keyboard and I'll create a copy and move this. Okay, now I'll select all of these and by holding Alt on my keyboard and pressing my left mouse button, I'll click on this arrow and I'll create a copy on y-axis and I'll snap it by 2 points. Yes. Now I'll select all of my lights and make sure you've checked this movable option to create some very nice dynamic shadows. Yes. Let's now go into the perspective mode. Let's move them on z-axis. Let me disable my snapping and now let's move this on z. I'm holding shift on my keyboard to move my camera along my lights. Okay. Yes. To increase the intensity of the light, I can select all of them, go into the details panel and let's increase the intensity to 100. Okay. Yeah, I think 100 is just too low. So let's try 1000 or 10,000. Yeah. Let's add another 0. Yes, now as you can see that we have a lot of artificial light in our scene. Let's move them on Z. Yeah, okay. Yes. Now let's keep it at 10,000. Okay. Because I'm gonna render my scene in path tracing. So let's view our scene in path tracing. Okay. Let's select path tracing and let's see how artificial light behaves in path tracing. Okay. If you don't want to render your scene in path tracing, don't worry about it because I'll also show you how you can light up and render your scene in Lumen. Yes, so let's increase the exposure. I'll go into the scenes folder and let's select PPV or post process volume and let's increase the exposure. Yeah, let's increase the intensity of these lights. Let's try 20,000. Yeah, I think our scene looks better. Okay, let's select all of them and I'll change the outer cone angle to maybe like 70 or 80. Okay, yeah, I think we have some very nice light in our scene. Down to let's bring this down to maybe like 10,000 is, let's try 15,000. Okay, yes, okay, let's now go back into the lit mode. Yeah, I think this looks much better now. Okay, yes, for Lumen you can also bring down the exposure. Let me decrease the exposure. Yeah, I think exposure is fine. Yes, okay, now let's select all of them. Let's select this folder. Okay, and let's create a copy. I'll select this option and let's go into the top view and let's move them on x-axis and I'll bring my lights into my bedroom. Okay, yeah, let's move them on y. Yeah, okay, yes, let's go into the perspective mode. Our bedroom looks much better as well. Yeah, okay, I'll press escape on my keyboard to unselect all of the lights and as you can see our bedroom looks much better. Yeah, okay, let's rename this folder as bedroom lights. Okay, and yeah, let's select sun sky and let's adjust the direction of this sunlight. Okay, yeah, okay, now to view this scene in path tracing I'll select this option and let's view the scene in path tracing. Okay, Our bedroom looks a little bit darker. Okay, so I'll select my post process volume and I'll increase this to maybe 0 or maybe zero point 0.5. Yes, I think zero point 0.5 looks much better. Yeah. Let's select the lights because I think now that we have increased the exposure, so let me bring down the intensity of the bedroom lights. Okay, I'll select my bedroom lights. Okay, and let's decrease the intensity to maybe 5000. It is taking a lot of time to render, so what I'll do is I'll hide my curtains because it is taking a lot of time for path tracing to calculate the light through translucent curtains. So hiding the curtains will definitely improve your render time. Okay, let's try maybe 1000. I think, because I still think it is just too bright. I want very fade effect of these artificial lights on the bedroom. Okay, yeah, yeah, I think this looks much better. Okay, let's go back into the lit mode. So press escape to unselect all of the lights, and for now our scene looks much better for path tracing. Okay, one more thing, I like to add a rectangular light in this empty space for curtains. So let's bring in a rectangular light. I'll go into my lights collection and let's drag rectangular light into the scene. Yes, okay. Let's move this up. I'll rotate this on maybe 90 degrees on y-axis. Yes, and let's decrease the barn door angle. Let's keep it at 10. Okay, and let's rotate this on y-axis by 118 degrees. Okay, let's move this up and I'll go into the top view. Okay, and let's adjust the width and height. I'll move this right here. Okay, let me increase the height. Yes, okay, I'll place this one in the middle and let's increase the source width. Yeah, okay, let's go into the perspective mode and let's pull this one on z-axis. Let me bring down my camera speed and let's pull this on z. Yeah, let me bring down the exposure. Okay, okay, let's increase the intensity of this light to maybe like 500. And I can uncheck this option to see if it has any effect in our scene. Okay, let me increase this to 1000. Yeah, it has a very faint effect on the scene. Let's increase this to 10,000. Yes, let's move this on z axis, and let me decrease the barn door length. You can also use an emissive material to light up this empty space. Okay, let me increase the width. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Let's go into the top view again, and by holding alt and left mouse button I can create a copy and drag this in my scene. And let's rotate this on z axis, and let's find a position for this rectangular light. Okay, I'll increase the source width. Yeah, okay. Let's go back into the perspective mode. Let me increase the camera speed. Okay, and let's select both of them, and let's see what effect these rectangular lights have in our scene. Okay, and as you can see that they look very well. Yes, you can always increase the intensity if you want. Okay, let's maybe try 20,000. Let's unhide the curtains. Yeah, okay. Yes, let's see how this looks in part tracing. Okay, let's increase the exposure. I think it was zero point 0.5. Okay, and let's view our scene in path tracing. Okay, I think 20,000 is too much for the rectangular lights. Okay, so I'll select, first let me hide my curtains to improve the render time, and I'll select my rectangular lights, and let's bring this down to maybe 10,000. Let's unhide the curtains, and yeah, I still think it is just too bright. So let's bring this down to maybe 2000. Okay, let's unhide the curtains. Yeah, I think our rectangular light looks much better now. Okay, maybe increase the exposure. Okay, yes. So let's go back into the lit mode and let me decrease the exposure. Yeah, okay. Okay, yes, I think our lightning came out pretty well. One more thing that I want you to do is if I open my Epic Games launcher, okay, let's go into the library. We can see that we have some pre-made assets and pre-made scenes down here in our library. And if I open this one, Megascans Trees European, we can see that we have some Megascan trees that we can add into our project and use them. If I click on this arrow, you can see that we have some trees that we can use in our project. Yes. In the coming videos, when we'll move on to the foliage section, we'll use these Megascans trees to create a very good looking forest around our house. So make sure you download this and add into your project. It is totally free, so make sure you download this before we go into the foliage section. Now to download this one, what you can do is, I'll select this option, add to project, and I'll select the project in which I want to add this asset, and I'll select add to project. And it will start downloading and it will add this into your project. It's a 10.9 gig file. So make sure you download this one before we move on to the foliage section. Okay. So yes, I think that's it for this lecture. In the next lecture, we'll download some free models from different websites and then we'll use them in our project. Okay. So yes, I'll see you guys in the next lecture.